Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be a bit more of a rant video, and I don't like doing these at all. I hate moaning about the game because don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Gran Turismo 7. I play it to death, I enjoy my time with it, I love the new updates. However, update 1.20 has just really annoyed me, and it's for kind of my own fault, and I'll explain why. So if we go into the world map, we go to World Circuits. Obviously, the big new thing with this update is they've added a bunch of layouts to Catalonia, which was disappointing in itself. However, that's kind of, the disappointment has gone away, and they do feel really good. The new layouts are pretty awesome, especially the National and the Rallycross. So I get to this event, and I'm in a bit of tunnel vision, and I'm thinking, right, this is a Rallycross event. This one, I didn't pay any attention to. I thought that one would be basically a Group 3 event. So I jumped in, did the Rallycross event. I thought, okay, that's it. Went over to this one, and it wasn't a Group 3. It was a World Rally Challenge. And I'm thinking, how have they missed, or how have they dropped the ball on this? You've got a new layout to a track. All you would have had to do is basically put a night cycle in, and we could have done like another hour-long endurance, a bit like we did with the Spa. Now this would have gave us another grinding event, and I feel like that's what people are crying out for. So not only did we get no new cafe menu, so there's no kind of reward or incentive to really play these unless you just want to get every event done. You could basically just ignore these and act like they don't exist. So, I mean, the thing is, they didn't even think about adding another grinding event, and it makes no sense to me that you've got this new layout. All you had to do was add a night cycle, maybe a bit of weather, and you could have had a full grinding event for people to grind in, and it would have actually silenced people for a bit. I mean, this has been such a long time since we've had a worthy event in terms of payout in Gran Turismo 7. You've got your four main events. So you've got what? Sardinia, Tokyo, Le Mans, and you've got Spa. I wouldn't have even minded a longer grinding event like Spa, where it's an hour limit. You go through day, night, do pits, do strategy, the brand new layout in Group 3 cars or whatever car you want to do. You could have made it an 800 event, and it would have really silenced a lot of people, including myself. Like, we need more events to grind to keep us, wanting to buy these cars, or else, more and more people are going to leave. Like, I've seen people absolutely hate on this game, and I can't defend it really because they've got, pretty good opinions about it. The fact that we still cannot sell cars in the game is just really frustrating to a lot of players. Now, for me personally, it doesn't affect me, but their point's relevant. If they just want to clear out, even if they're just getting rid of, free cars and not going to earn anything from it, just to be able to clear the garage out of useless cars that they might not want, or maybe they want to sell some other cars to, buy a different car. They've got a valid opinion. I mean, that's not kind of what I'm bothered about. But the fact that they promised that back in, I believe, April, that it was coming in a soon to be update, and by May we was all thinking, well, it's still not here. And again, we're in what, August, and that function is still not in the game. The fact that they made no attempt to really highlight these events, that you could actually ignore them. There's no cafe book for them, so there's no kind of reward. There is a new extras menu, but that is what it is. The rewards for that are not great, apart from maybe the engine swap one for the Group 2s. But again, it's just, I feel like Polyphony are completely ignoring what the remaining fans want. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm in a good place in terms of Gran Turismo. It's kind of like my main thing on the channel. But a lot of that audience that was there from day one has completely gone. And I can guarantee, another thing that really annoys a lot of people is drip-fed content. Okay, so this is another point I kind of want to make is, drip-fed content. What is the point in it? I would rather wait a couple of months and get a proper decent sized update with a few tracks, proper cafe menus if that's the way you want to go with it, a couple of longer grinding events, maybe some new, mission challenges, let's say 10 cars, so you've got a decent chunk. And doing this, okay, this is another thing that really annoys me about drip-fed content. You've put this in the legendary dealer today. You're saying the update released today, so why are the other two not in there? In all honesty, seriously, Polyphony, you've proven that you can just add new legendary cars on the day. So why is the McLaren not in there, and why is the GTO Judge not in there? I mean, this is what we have at the minute. Who cares? I mean, you've got two versions of the same car. You've released this one, you put that one straight in, while the original one's still there. So I get it's unlimited stock, so it'll probably go tomorrow. But it's silly little things like this with this drip fed content. I mean, seriously, most of us know. I mean, I can guarantee 90% of the players will already know what's coming up. So when you go on Twitter, Kaz goes on Twitter and he says new update coming next week, and he's got the silhouettes of the cars. What's the point? You may as well just tell us, or it's basically there to keep it mysterious until they release the trailer the day before. But as soon as they're up, people will know. They'll be like, oh well, this was sort of data mined, so that's definitely going to be in the game. I mean, people knew what these cars were going to be, not necessarily just from the silhouettes, but the fact that it had been data mined for ages, so there was no real guesswork in it. The fact that there was supposed to be brand new tracks coming, and obviously you gave us new layouts of a track that's already in the game, was kind of what you did with Spa. So obviously, if you remember Spa, we obviously got what's there you go, look, the 24 layout, which kind of changed where the pit stop is. So it's just absolutely ridiculous that Polyphony just don't seem to want to listen to the player base. They really, do you know what it reminds me of? So if anyone watches Ferrari in Formula One, you'll know that their strategy and the way Ferraris run, they won't listen to any criticism whatsoever, and people are just they're a laughing stock now at this point. Now that's essentially what Polyphony is to in terms of sort of Gran Turismo fans. The fact that the fans are crying out for features, and then you just go ahead and do your own thing anyway. So yeah, and then you kind of wonder why players are going to be leaving. People have turned their back. I've heard many people say, look, they've been a Gran Turismo fan for life, and they've turned their back when it comes to Gran Turismo 7 because it just didn't feel like what was promised from the beginning. And although I still love the game, I'm still kind of in that kind of category of it is disappointing. And then the fact that you're doing these drip fed content updates but not listening to people is just really frustrating to the player base. So I really hope Polyphony kind of step up and realize, look, we need to listen to what most people want. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's people that are going to defend Kaz and defend Polyphony no matter what they do. They could, go and set fire to the house and they'll still be like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. But sometimes I feel like people need to speak up and speak up properly about, yes, the content's great and it's good. Because don't get me wrong, update 1.20 has brought some, stuff that I genuinely want. But yeah, it just feels like, Polyphony should really do more to listen to the player base. So in the end, everyone's happy, not just a select die-hard few. And don't get me wrong, I'm in that die-hard few, so I'm happy with it. However, I feel like I need to address it because it just at the back of my mind, it just irks me. I mean, we're what 6 months into nearly 7 months into GT7, and although we've took a few steps forward, we just feel like Polyphony are always going to try and keep taking that step back. So who knows?